Hi, this is Alex with HomeMediaTech.net, and today we're taking a look at the Android MX3 TV box. It's an Android set-top box. It actually has a quad-core CPU and an 8-core GPU. It has 2 gigs of RAM and 8 gigs of flash storage. It has a pair of USB ports. It has HDMI out. It has optical and Ethernet. It's pretty well equipped, all things considered, and it's a great little box if you need something to replace either a home theater PC, or if you want to turn your non-smart TV into a smart TV, for example. So let's get right into it. When you turn it on, you're presented with this menu. It's sort of styled after the Metro theme that you see on the new Windows operating system. So it's sort of got these tiles that you can go into. So I guess we'll get right into it. The first one here, online video. So you can see here, these are just video apps. If we go into YouTube, for example, it's pretty snappy. It loads everything pretty quickly, and yeah, it's quite a neat little box. If we click add, this is a nice little feature. So let's say you download Vivo, for example, and you want to add it into your online video section. You would just go in here. For example, if this is the one you wanted to add, you just click on it, click back, and it's been added. So it's a neat little feature. I actually quite like it that you can sort of add and remove things from each section. So let's go back. My recommend. Not really sure what they put this in here for. It looks like there's just Skype and Miracast in here. I think they just put that in to fill up the space. Setting. So this is actually the settings. You can see here network. Set up your Wi-Fi or Ethernet. The Wi-Fi was pretty easy to set up. It was quick, works well. Just no complaints. Display. Haven't really changed anything in here. So you can see here there's auto detection, screensaver, that sort of thing. Advanced. Again, haven't touched anything in here. And other. So in here you can go into, for example, more settings, and here you'll see the Android settings sort of under the hood. So I went in here, for example, to change the date and time. It was still set to the China Standard Time, I guess, because it's where it was initially set up. So my apps. This has every app that's on the device. So here you'll see just everything that's installed, essentially. You can go through and find something. If it doesn't fit into those categories, it's in here. Music, pretty self-explanatory. Right now there's just the default music app, so I guess you could go in here, add in the Google Music app. You could add in Spotify, for example. If we go back, local. So this is where you could see the gallery. There's a movie player, a file browser. The file browser is actually pretty good. If we go home, it's actually not that bad. All things considered. Let's go back again. So lastly, we're presented with this bar along the bottom. So when you get yours, obviously it'll be a little more sparse. I've actually been playing around with this, and if you click the plus, you can add and remove things from the bottom here. So I actually quite like this, more so for the fact that you can just add things here and never have to go into the folders. So let's just choose Skype. We can go back. So it's pretty cool. I mean, if you add all of your most used apps here, there's no reason to go into the other directories or the other folders or sections, whatever you want to call them. It's nice to have this along the bottom. So pros and cons. I think the device is good for what you pay. It gets the job done. It plays Netflix. It plays YouTube videos. It'll play XBMC. So right there, that's a huge plus. There's a huge community behind it. There's people modding them. There's people coming out with better ROMs, all that sort of thing. Cons, I don't know if it's my device specifically or what, but there is a delay between when I press the button on the remote and when it actually changes on screen. So it's not that big a deal in the grand scheme of things, but it does get a little annoying when you're trying to scroll through a long list, for example, or when you're trying to use an on-screen keyboard. So just straight up, don't ever use an on-screen keyboard on this device with the remote. plug in a wireless keyboard. When I was setting this up, it was painful and it was just brutal. So use a keyboard. Can't stress that enough. But other than that, I mean, it's great for the money. It's fairly fast. It's essentially a cell phone in a set-top box with a remote. Yeah, I mean the Android MX3 isn't that bad. It's mid-range. I think they're coming out with some better processors right now. I think it's running the S802. For example, there's an S805 and S812 out now. So I think overall it's sort of the most widely used on the market, but there's nothing wrong with it. The 2 gigs of RAM is more than enough. The 8 gig storage, I can see getting a little bit full, but I mean, you're not going to be storing stuff on here. This is just used to stream from other sources. So overall, it's a great little box. And I just want to actually shout out to AndroidBros.com. They were kind enough to send me this review copy of the MX3. So you should definitely check out Android Bros. They're great guys. Support's great. They've emailed me back within 20 minutes at 9 p.m. So I mean, don't be emailing them at 9 p.m. But they're great guys, and you should definitely check them out. So again, this is Alex with HomeMediaTech.net, and thanks for watching and subscribe.